Unsafe abortion, for example, recognition of sexual rights, women's economic rights, the issue of violence against women as a public rather than a private issue, the issue of women's political participation, the recognition of the abysmal failure of societies to give women their equal place in legislatures, in corporate boardrooms.
And Marco, when she says everybody, she's talking about almost every country in the world.
I mean, it is pretty amazing holding people to this accord, but now we're hearing that while there's been a lot of progress in 20 years, the pace of change has been actually excruciatingly slow. So what happened?
What's really interesting is that this document is considered so powerful, and yet at some level it just didn't have teeth. They never put in timelines, targets, mechanisms for accountability. And I think there was a feeling that they would at another conference. Well, Beijing was the 4th World Conference on Women. There never was a 5th. There never was a time when they added all this stuff. And actually what's really fascinating now is the climate, the political climate at the UN has changed so much that there are people who are actually kind of relieved that there hasn't been another conference, at least recently, because they actually feel that a conference like that, where you're trying to get member states to agree, could roll back advances in women's rights.
The political climate at the UN, how does that affect the progress of change for women?
Well, back then, early 90s, when this was being formulated, it was post-Cold War, the Berlin Wall had come down, there was a sense of possibility and peace dividends. Think now, think 9/11, the Iraq War, all the dissension, the polarization that we see now, the extremism, that climate affects women's rights and the women's rights agenda as well. It's really hard to get member states to agree.
So it's a very contradictory picture, isn't it, Jeb? You've got, we know what to do, it's just that these battles are supposed to have been won long ago.
Yeah, and actually Joanne Sandler, who you heard a minute ago, has this very conversation with her mother. Listen to this.
My mother has watched me work on women's rights for 30 years, and at 85, she says to me, why don't you keep working on women's rights? Women are in the lead all over the place now. Every single day you see powerful women on television, you see powerful women hitting up institutions. Isn't the battle over?
Another generational shift.
Yes, Joanne Sandler there, she clearly doesn't think it's over, even if her mother does. And she'd like to see another generation get a shot at something like Beijing, younger men and women getting together, having a transnational conversation about the agenda going forward. And, maybe not Beijing plus 20, but something more like Beijing 2.0, we'll see.